and I fell in love with branding. I also had made up my mind, marketing karungi, TCS mein job mil jayega because TCS comes and takes everybody. We're going to have a job and things like that. But it didn't work out that way. Inspiration hit during Harish Biju's class, and he made us do a really horrible project of making modular kitchens with art and craft, which is so not my thing. But I loved the storytelling of it. I loved that while making something like a model, all of us had to work together to come up with a solution. We had to pitch it, sell it. Even if it was a crappy model, we still had to sell it. I loved that whole process. I really enjoyed it so much. Forget about anybody else's goals that is set for me. Company ke goals hote hai, checkpoint hota hai. No, none of that. I have my own checklist. I have to live up to my own standards. And so I worked really hard at getting to where I am. I'm, like you say, you're a first generation entrepreneur. I'm a first generation working woman in my family.
What? Alright, hi everyone, welcome on board. बहुत सारे लोग मुझे क्वेश्चन पूछते हैं कि सर MBA करने के 15 साल के बाद लाइफ कैसे होती है? क्या जो तुमने गोल्स एम किए थे वो मिलते जाते हैं, नहीं मिलते जाते? या you have to do some sacrifices in the entire journey. Some people make big, some people don't. आज मेरे सामने काव्या जी हैं. Hi Kavya, how are you doing?
Hello, I'm doing good, Sumit.
Really humbled to have Kavya. Kavya works for Kyndryl India, which was a part of IBM, which is nearly a $19-20 billion company, a revenue company. Yes. And ma'am is an associate director of field marketing, BFSI sector and alliances. So banking and alliances के अंदर ma'am is doing marketing if I'm wrong, right? आज हम ma'am से हम सारे question पूछेंगे, tough question पूछेंगे. And ma'am is a graduate of IBA Bangalore, where I'm right now. It's an Indian Business Academy, art-hickered campus, green campus. How was life? Was she happy there? And more importantly, भाई graduation करने के बाद होता क्या है? By the way, I also finished like 15 years out of SPJain Bombay. Wow. There was an alumni meet as well. So आज दो बुजुर्ग बात करेंगे.
बुजुर्ग, speak for yourself.
Sorry, damn, that was wrong. तो आज हम डिस्कशन करेंगे अपने बारे में और इस वीडियो को एंड तक सुनेगा. Let's go, ma'am. First of all, is it a good life after 15 years? You can be
great life.
Yeah,
it's a great life. It's a good life because I designed it myself. I worked really hard for it myself, and I'm enjoying it for myself. So it's a good life.
You did a lot of weird stuff. So you got into
weird stuff.
Like, yeah, who does like advertising first and then move to like banking, finance, and do marketing there, and then become a director? She was also chief marketing officer of Kyndryl for a short period of time. वो भी आज story जानेंगे. But how did it happen? All these things, like, is it not? It's like Gen Z what they do today. They want to do advertising. Tomorrow they want to do BFSI.
Unfortunately, I didn't have that choice. When I finished engineering, I wanted to do MBA for very different personal reasons. And when I did MBA, I met Harish Biju in one of the classes because he was doing, he was taking branding for us, and I fell in love with branding. I also had made up my mind, marketing karungi, TCS mein job mil jayega because TCS comes and takes everybody. We're going to have a job and things like that. But it didn't work out that way. Inspiration hit during Harish Biju's class, and he made us do a really horrible project of making modular kitchens with art and craft, which is so not my thing. But I loved the storytelling of it. I loved that while making something like a model, all of us had to work together to come up with a solution. We had to pitch it, sell it. Even if it was a crappy model, we still had to sell it. I loved that whole process. I really enjoyed it so much that I somehow made up my mind in second year of MBA that advertising karungi. Tab to there are no, companies that come to pick up advertising professionals from MBA colleges, right? They will go to creative colleges. But thankfully, I had a senior who was working in an advertising agency, and I had to apply, and I applied, and I really had a hard time in advertising for a couple of years before I jumped into corporate life. I haven't looked back since, but I carry my advertising spark with me everywhere I go.
So you would have got TCS and all these jobs. You said
I would have, with a better pay, I guess, but I chose to work for a really crappy pay outside because I wanted to try. If I really want to do something, then I want to do it my way.
Shit, yaar, ye main nahi kar paya. So I had an Ogilvy job.
I don't know if it's a smart decision, but I did.
Yeah, it's working out for you. Come on, bro. You're associate director of a really big company and managing field marketing. बहुत बड़े आदमी हैं मैम, लगते नहीं है मैम पर है बहुत बड़े आदमी. She's been there, she's done that. Yeah. So I got Ogilvy summer internship, and they were paying me like 5,000 rupees per month, 10,000 rupees. And the interview was going in one room, another room it was GE. GE was paying me 80,000 rupees. This is 2007, 2008 summer internship. Tab autumn hota tha at SPJain Bombay. And so I had to take a decision by like in next hour, should I go for the second round of Ogilvy or not? and I was through the first round, and then say second round is just a formality. So कहाँ 10,000, कहाँ 80,000,
Yeah.
Kingfisher Airlines की flight tickets, stay in Bombay in Diamond District in Bombay, free
Wow.
stay. I was like, bro, छोड़ो यार.
छोड़ो यार.
So that was my dream of going to Ogilvy. But nevertheless, I cannot say no regrets. वो एक बार तो करना चाहिए था. I applied for the Young Lions Cannes Awards as well,
Wow.
which I saw today newspaper ad.
Yes.
Today Times of India
Sounds
page number
big.
3. Yeah, I was in top 10, but never made it. तो वो मेरे dreams थे. Nevertheless, good यार. So you followed your passion. How many years you did advertising?
I did advertising for less than 3 years.
Oh, okay.
And then I moved into marketing.
Hmm.
And I did various functions of marketing. I did market insights, I did digital, I did program management, demand programs, demand performance marketing, things like that.
That sounds like, did you work hard or you just sailed your way
I
through?
worked very hard.
Yeah?
I've always been the kind of person who forget about anybody else's goals that is set for me. Company ke goals hote hai, checkpoint hota hai, no, none of that. I have my own checklist. I have to live up to my own standards, and so I worked really hard at getting to where I am. I'm like you say, you're a first generation entrepreneur. I'm a first generation working woman in my family.
What?
Women in my family don't work. They don't have regular jobs.
But Gowda family is a business class, right? No? I don't know.
They're all entrepreneurs. They don't do regular corporate jobs, and they don't. Women,
and the women are like homemakers.
Yeah, they're fancy homemakers, wealthy homemakers, but they're homemakers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I had a point to prove to myself and everyone else as well. And my parents were very supportive in this journey. So, yeah, so I worked really hard.
क्या
So,
बात
no
है.
luck.
No luck, right? Right. So मैं वही बोलता हूँ, luck वक कुछ नहीं होता यार, मेहनत करो और फिर भगवान पे छोड़ो.
Yeah.
Fear that God is to decide like tick this way or that way, and then you said okay, God has decided, and then you say okay, it's luck. बिना hard work किए मुझे नहीं पता, there'll be very few people who have made it.
I agree. I agree. I think over the journey of my career, I've had, thankfully, that's one thing that I did. If I couldn't ask help in other areas of my life, the one thing that I was very good at is asking help for guidance, because I didn't grow up with role models who I see working or any of that, and I needed to learn from outside, and the only way to do that is, but when I saw women or men that I trusted who were in positions like this or who did something well, they don't have to have a title, I went and asked them, like, how did you do this? Like, what is your secret? Like, what is the one advice that you would give me? And eventually I picked up a lot of mentors along my way who really helped shape who I am and really helped me, guide me, sponsor me in rooms.
Great. Okay, ये तो बढ़िया. Let's come to the MBA piece. So, what have you learned in your MBA? Was it helpful in your journey? कुछ चीजें याद आई? Because we're very young when we do an MBA. In India, you know.
Yeah.
हम लोग बहुत छोटे होते हैं, you know, 19 साल, 20 साल, 21 साल, maximum 24 साल तक लोग MBA finish करते हैं. And मेरे लिए तो MBA, being honest, blur है. It's gone. But every third day, like वो जैसे product life cycle हम सीखते थे, you know, maturity phase. So CATKing is the maturity phase right now. इसके बाद क्या करना है? Oh, product diversification. So I actually drew the map now.
Yeah.
And वहाँ पे तो रट्टा मार रहे थे, ऐसा करके ग्राफ बनाना है मेरे पे. So was it helpful for you in your journey?
Can I tell you, and I don't want to sound fake when I say this, but MBA was genuinely the highlight of everything in my life. I feel like I turned a corner when I did my MBA. Because of my background, I did engineering. Engineering means very tactical. You get this pass mark, then you do this, 50% assessment for practicals, and you get your 65 mein first class ho gaya ye. But when I came to MBA, I realized that it's more about your ability than about your marks. And it was a different thing for me because I've always strived to be like A+ student, first bench, ye wo, aur yahan pe to it's relative marking, open book exam. Everything depends on your skill, right? And I'd never worked so hard ever. I had not worked in teams before. And for me, MBA was an experience of a kind. Forget about the curriculum. Yes, I will think about Kotler once in a while. I will, think about the product life cycle. All of that has changed it has evolved.
Kotler is still alive.
But I think the lessons that I've learned practically in terms of working in teams, project management, conflict resolution, all of those things, of course, I've worked very hard at getting better and better at those skills, but those were the foundations of my MBA. And that is why I think I remember MBA for those reasons more than anything.
So for me, I mean, I'd say I think MBA is all about good peers.
Yeah.
Those night outs.
Yeah.
And those discussions which you are randomly having over a cup of tea or a coffee in your canteen.
Yeah.
And you just blabbering the whole night. And हर बंदे ने इकोनॉमिक टाइम्स पढ़ी हुई है या मिंट या टाइम्स ऑफ इंडिया पढ़ी हुई है एंड यू डिस्कसिंग धंधा.
Yes.
And that's what MBA is for me all about.
That is very true. And some of my peers and my juniors and my seniors are so successful, and I feel like that is the starting point of networking.
Yeah.
मतलब अच्छे से friends बना लो, then somewhere along the line, a lot of my customers, my clients, if I know that on the other side of the table is somebody from my own college, then it's an easier connect for me. It's a network that you build, right?
Great. Explain us your job, like to all my 20, 21-year-old people, like they want to put their career into marketing. They're thinking like, when I ask them a question, just type in marketing when they want to go into marketing. Some people want to go to Pepsi, HUL, brands of the world. Most of your friends also would be there in these companies. My friends are also there in these companies, and it's a hard life marketing. How marketing is different from sales? Sales करनी चाहिए, नहीं करनी चाहिए, और आपने की थी कि नहीं की थी वो बताइए.
When I started in my advertising, I did sales for a bit, because when you graduate out of MBA, it's pretty much the first job. Business development is the easiest way to land a role. You move into client servicing and marketing much later in your life. I think there's value for a marketer in having known sales. But the opposite is also true, which I discovered recently. So I had a person that I used to work superbly well in marketing with, and she decided suddenly that she wants to move to sales. And IT sales is a large life cycle.
From marketing moving to sales.
She moved to sales because she wanted that experience. What a blast we had as sales and marketing, because she knew the marketing side of things. So she knew exactly the language that to speak to me in, how much to fight with me, how much budget to get, how to negotiate. She knew all of those things. It was easier to work with her because I could also extract more, and I could expect more outcomes from that relationship. So I think it's complementary. I wouldn't say one is better than the other. It depends on the kind of person you are. I have seen sales folks who are seasoned sales folks. They become very tactical in their approach, and creative thinking takes a little bit of time. But in marketing, creative thinking, tactical approach is a long shot. So you still, while you want to pursue that, I think creative thinking takes the center stage. So it's complementary.
Understood. Who grows faster?
Sales.
Sales?
The money is in sales. there is no sidestepping that conversation. You want to make big bucks and work 10x hard, do sales.
कितने
साल? Zindagi bhar.
Yeah?
Yeah. Because the stakes are higher and higher and higher. When you start off, you're cracking 10 million deals. As you grow in your career, you're cracking 200 million deal, 500 million deal, 2 billion deal, and the cut that you get from that kind of money is big.
And you start getting cut after how many years of MBA?
You start getting a cut from day one, because commission based is commission based. But the cut is very small. Like my VP in sales, I work very closely with him. He was telling me that the reason he flipped into sales is because he was doing pre-sales and marketing before, and his boss asked him to go pick up a check from some client, and he happened to look at the check and he's like, भाई काम तो मैंने किया सब कुछ, and check तो देखो इतना बड़ा, इतने zeros. So that's why he moved to sales, and he hasn't regretted it. He has been a CMO at some point, and he says, I love that world, but if you want to make money, yeah, sure. If you want to do like अच्छा काम, good work, creative work, go home and feel so accomplished that you're seeing your work on a billboard or you gain a customer, that high is a different high. Cracking a deal is a different high. Marketing में भी पैसे हैं. अच्छा खासा पैसा है. It's not like you don't make money in marketing. Some of the best marketers make a good amount of money. But I think the exponential money growth will come in sales.
Excellent. Yeah. Okay, this is one question which I ask most of my guests. What is one advice you would like to give to your younger self, Kavya? Kavya is like fresh, young kid coming out of 2010 of business school. What's one advice? यार ये करना, ये मत करना, to your own younger self?
I would take more risk on myself. I would have taken more risk on myself if I knew it. I would do more. I would travel more. I would talk to more people. I would invite myself into rooms more often than hesitating that maybe I don't belong there. Maybe I don't have. My problem was ये नहीं आता मुझे. Like, I don't come from this background, so I don't know this. Like, you were asking me about banking. I don't know banking, because in MBA also, it was my least interested class. Yeah. Law and finance were two classes that I just somehow, gritted my teeth and went through. But I was never interested. I have never balanced a check, balance sheet in my life. No exam my balance sheet has ever balanced. but in the last few years, I was like, bhai, ye nahi bolna mujhe. I don't want to say I don't like this or I'm not good at this. I have decided for myself that I will not do that anymore. If I say I'm bad at dancing, I will dance, irrespective of whether I'm good at it or not good at it, just so that I know and have that experience. The same with, I picked up banking as my industry to work on because I was hopeless at it. I didn't know banking. I don't know the difference between a lot of things in banking, and I wanted to learn. And I knew that once I do that hard thing and prove to myself that I can do it, I'm unstoppable. And that's how every part of my career journey has been. ये नहीं कर सकती बहुत, it's very hard, very hard. कर तो दो एक बार. कर लिया तो फिर then it becomes easy. Then it's like something that you've already done before. You know that.
That's
it's like maybe the stepping stone for becoming an
entrepreneur. Yeah, you will know कि क्या नहीं करना है. You know, जिंदगी में बहुत कम लोग आपको मिलेंगे जिनको पता है उनको क्या चाहिए. Right? बस जो लोग ज्यादा सक्सेसफुल हैं उनको बस ये पता है कि उनको क्या नहीं चाहिए. और उनको बाकी दुनिया से ज्यादा पता है कि उनको क्या नहीं चाहिए.
Absolutely.
So you know out of the 10 things you don't want 6.
Yeah.
So you only want 4. Yeah. So you've got better probability of living life better because पता यार ही नहीं चाहिए.
Yeah.
बाकी लोग सोचते रहते हैं यार 10 में से 9 मैं ये करूँ मैं वो करूँ, you know, and you keep doing it and you keep dissing things. I come from G. G taught me very good lesson. I love my company. Like we were discussing G.
Yeah.
Like she got a job offer from G.
No, don't say that. You're supposed to put it. I lose my job in this company.
Yeah. So G is like world's 6th largest company. We were in the leadership program. The day one you go to G, if you're in a leadership program, they'll send you to the US. And yeah, उस जमाने में तो business class ticket मिलती थी. बहुत कुछ था. And you're 21-year-old, win the world. But G taught me one thing. Since they make aviation engines, you know, it's like a very sensitive. Making an aviation engine is like very sensitive. They have 6 Sigma lean processes. They taught us one thing: don't ship it till you're proud of it.
Wow.
You know, तुम aviation engine बना रहे हो ऐसा नहीं है 2 पेज लगे नहीं चलो उड़ा दो यार देखी जाएगी. You can't do that.
It's not an IT program.
Yeah, it's not an IT program. And that was biggest learning I had from G. But when I look back, it actually curtailed my growth by nearly 5 years. Because हम wait कर रहे थे. बनेगा तो ship करेंगे. Till I'm proud कभी होते हो आप? As an artist, would you be ever proud what you've done? Like I look at my videos, what I've done, I was like, bro, what are you even talking?
Yeah.
और मैं कर दो.
Yeah.
So that it's very good. This advice not for a CEO. But for an employee starting his career, don't ship it till you're proud of it. Don't ship it. अच्छे से करो, expertise करो. And perfectionism is like a myth.
It is a myth.
It's a myth.
And this day and age, 100% it's a myth.
Yeah. When I started YouTube channel, so I used to be live at 1 a.m. in the night. So मैं 1 बजे शुरू किया था. अब भी 12 बजे ही होता है वैसे रात को.
Why? Who was awake at that time watching videos?
ये लोग.
Really? My sleep time is 9:30.
What?
Yeah, I wake up at 4:30, 9:30. It's been my schedule for as long as I've been alive.
I'm going to call your boss and ask him like he's not giving you enough work. Or you start early then you'll start.
4:30 a.m.
4:30 a.m. you start?
Every single day.
ये abnormal lifestyle है MBA का ऐसा नहीं होता है.
I know. ऐसे मेरे MBA में नहीं हुआ. It was my biggest challenge कि they have classes all through the night and my sleep schedule was my biggest. I think one of the biggest hurdles, like I told you, right? 2 rules. पूछने में क्या जाता है, करने में क्या जाता है. Let's try it once. ऐसे ही किया मैंने MBA में. Like let me do the class, मतलब मरो but do the class, get up, go whatever. I've realized that I work better on this schedule. So I have done it. I've tried it and MBA has prepped me that कभी करना पड़ेगा तो मैं करूँगी. पर नहीं करना पड़ेगा तो
Good. चलिए last 2 बातें. तो पैसे वैसे कितने मिलते हैं? 15 साल हो गए आपको मतलब.
अच्छे खासे मिलते हैं वैसे.
ये बड़ी प्रॉब्लम है यार. When you talk with corporates, nobody tells us that.
Yeah, because a lot of other corporates also watching it, and I want them to match my offer, and I don't want it to be like whatever.
So I'll tell you my salary. I'm out of corporate. I can talk about myself. So my starting salary in G was 9.5 lakh rupees. 2007.
You were very highly paid. Whatever this role you had, you were very highly paid.
That was the
my
highest
starting salary was 2.5 lakhs per annum.
And after that, अभी जो तुम छाप रहे हो वो?
That is different.
Okay, lovely. I think we can keep on going. Any parting thoughts to all my 21, 22-year-old girls and boys who are listening to us? I'm not going to make you sound old, but you are, say you start a career at 20 and you go to 60, right? And you have normally 40 years of your career life when you actually work. And you've done like 15 years, Soon you'll be halfway through. उसके बाद 50 के बाद आई एम नॉट सीइंग मेनी पीपल डूइंग इनोवेशन और स्लॉगिंग इट ऑफ एक्सेट्रा. So 20 से 50 तक is 30 years of your corporate life, like good corporate healthy life where you can achieve the world, you can travel, you can take a flight to Bombay, you can do like I didn't sleep last night because I was traveling. You can do that. 50 के बाद पता नहीं होगा नहीं होगा. तो मैम आप halfway through हैं, मैं भी halfway through. So what's your advice? They are starting their half journey now and at the peak. What do you want to tell them?
Do the hard thing. Do the hard thing. If it is hard, it is hard because of two reasons. One, it's genuinely hard, but it's hard for everyone. Two, it's hard for you because you don't know how. Then you either ask for help or you upskill yourself or whatever. But don't say no to the hard things. Don't say, I can't do this because, this is giving me anxiety. Ye ho raha hai, wo ho raha hai. No, like let's figure out a way. And I tell my 8-year-old daughter this. There's one rule in my house when you're stressed about something. The one rule is stay calm. The first rule is stay calm. The second rule is how do we break this down? It's seeming like a very big problem. How do we break it down? Hard things are not hard things when they're broken down smaller. But try and do the hard things. Once you do it, you prove it to yourself that, yeah, I'm capable of doing cool things.
This is so amazing. So do the hard things, but I'm going to tell you to do something easy. Do it in the like button for sure. And comment के अंदर बताइए, how do you like this podcast? What do you guys think about this gender diversity? What do you guys think about MBA in general? क्या ये लाइफ आपको जीनी है या आपके दिमाग में कुछ क्वेश्चंस आ रहे हैं कि यार ये मुझे एमबीए करना तो है, मैं भी सोच रहा हूँ, या मेरी लाइफ अच्छी जाने वाली है, और यू सी काव्या मैम, ऑल द वुमेन गेटिंग इंस्पायर्ड बाय दिस जर्नी, मुझे कमेंट करके बताइएगा, अपन डिस्कशन करते हैं. थैंक यू सो मच काव्या, इट वाज प्लेजर having you.
Such a pleasure to meet you too, Sumit.
See you in the comment section, boys and girls. That was our time. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye bye.